All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we take complex, kind of fragmented information and structure it into a really clear path forward. Today, we are looking at a fascinating piece of source material that is literally just titled The New Memo. And, at first glance, this document is deceptively simple. I mean, it is literally just 3 carefully curated links. That's it. No preamble, no long-winded explanations. But when we actually dig in and analyze these 3 links, we uncover something absolutely incredible. It's the ultimate step-by-step roadmap for mastering cybersecurity. This isn't just a random list of websites, it's actually a complete masterclass in moving seamlessly from abstract theory straight into hands-on, tactical practice. But hey, before we just start clicking those links, we really have to ask ourselves a fundamental question. How do you actually build a cyber expert? Think about it like training a pilot. You wouldn't just toss a complete rookie into the cockpit of an F-16 mid-flight and say, hey, figure it out, right? They would crash and burn instantly. Well, the cyber world is equally complex, chaotic, and completely unforgiving. If you just jump straight onto a live network without understanding the rules, the specific methodologies, or honestly, even what your specific job is supposed to be, you are going to cause some serious damage. You absolutely need a structured progression. And honestly, that brings us exactly to the genius of the new memo.
So, our stealth agenda for today breaks down into 3 very distinct phases. Step 1, define the role. Step 2, learn the testing guide. And Step 3, boot the lab.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the Cyber Career Map. This right here is our foundation.
Look, before you can even think about securing a system, you have to know exactly what part of that system is actually yours to protect. The very first link in our source memo carries this exact label. Read official guidance on cybersecurity work roles and NICE framework documentation. This points us straight to the NIST NICE Framework Resource Center. Now, why start here? Well, because cybersecurity isn't just one monolithic job, right? It is a massive, sprawling ecosystem of highly specialized roles. The NICE framework officially defines every single one of those roles, laying out exactly what knowledge, skills, and abilities you need for each. Going back to our pilot analogy for a second, this is where you officially decide, okay, do I want to be a commercial pilot flying cargo, a helicopter rescue pilot, or fighter pilot? You are literally mapping out your destiny here and building the theoretical foundation of your entire career.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Web Security Playbook, or as I like to call it, the flight manual.
Leaving those foundational career roles behind us, the second link in the memo instructs the reader to read official guidance on web security testing and reporting. This takes us directly to the OWASP Web Security Testing Guide. So we've already figured out what our job title is, but now we need to know exactly how to do the actual work. The Open Worldwide Application Security Project, or OWASP, is literally the gold standard for web application security. This step is huge because it shifts our energy from the sort of passive theory of who I am into the highly tactical, active realm of what I do. The crucial thing to understand here is what this guide actually is. The OWASP Testing Guide is the official codification of methodology for web security testing and reporting. Like I said, it's your flight manual. It equips you with the exact step-by-step rules of engagement. Because you don't just randomly click around a website hoping you'll stumble on a vulnerability. No way. You follow a rigorous, documented process to test for very specific weaknesses. And, just as importantly, you learn how to report those weaknesses clearly so they can actually be fixed. Let me be completely clear on this. You absolutely must read this manual before you ever touch a live system.
Think about the deliberate contrast happening here. On one hand, we have our first link, the NIST guidelines. These are super broad, career-focused, and totally macro level. But then, on the other hand, we have our second link, the OWASP guidance. This is highly specific, completely web testing focused, and very micro level. The author of the new memo brilliantly bridged these two worlds. They didn't just hand you a random list of hacking tools. They gave you the broader career context and then immediately followed it up with the professional methodology. It is just incredibly deliberate.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Virtual Proving Ground. This is our flight simulator. This is it, the final, hands-on stage of our hero's journey into cyber. The third and final link in the new memo simply says, read official Kioptrix Level 1 lab page on VulnHub. This is where all that theoretical preparation finally collides with reality. You've picked your career path. You've read the methodology manual. Now, it is time to get your hands on the keyboard. VulnHub is an amazing platform that hosts intentionally vulnerable virtual machines, and Kioptrix Level 1 is basically a legendary starting point for beginners. Let's quickly break down this virtual lab setup. First, it's hosted on the VulnHub platform, which means it's super accessible to anyone. Second, it specifically targets the Kioptrix Level 1 environment. Now, that's an entire self-contained operating system that is quite literally designed to be broken into. And third, it serves as the practical application for those roles and testing guides we were just talking about. This perfectly illustrates our flight simulator analogy. A virtual lab like Kioptrix allows practitioners to safely execute the official testing and reporting methodologies they just learned from OWASP. I mean, if you make a huge mistake here, you don't accidentally take down a global banking network, right? You just hit reset, reboot the virtual machine, and try again. It is 100% safe, iterative, practical learning.
Finally, Section 4, Theory meets practice. We call this the Defender's Arc. Bringing it all together, just look at how beautifully these three distinct links form a perfect deductive pathway. Step 1, discover your role to build your identity. Step 2, read the manual to build your methodology. Step 3, run the simulator to build your practical experience. The new memo wasn't just a list of links. It was a carefully curated problem-solution arc, guiding you from totally understanding the job to actually doing the job in a completely contained environment. Which leaves us with this final thought. We have officially decrypted the memo. We've mapped out exactly why these three specific resources matter and how they connect to transform a novice into a structured, methodology-driven professional. You have the map to find your role, you have the guide to learn the tactics, and you have the lab to test your skills safely. The entire path is completely laid out in front of you. So, the only question left to ask is, are you ready to begin? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go explore those resources for yourself.